Hello everyone, you are watching Tech Expert and I am your tutor Muhammad Uzair. Today I will guide you how to design stock in-out system or inventory management system in Microsoft Excel. So there are some mandatory things and there are prerequisite. First of all, for inventory system we should have a product list. A product list is also called an item catalog, which provide us the information of our items for our business or our organization. I have developed a sample data of products where you can see we have product code, product name and product category. This is basically a list of items being sold by a computer repair shop. You can see that we have a different product code for each item. According to inventory rules, you can't have multiple items with same specification by allowing them different codes because it affects the stock, it affects the costing rate, and does not provide you the desired result. So first of all, what you need to do is to write down your all items or all goods on the paper and then refine them. After that you can write them into Excel like this. You have to provide a unique item code to each item or unique product code to your each product, because sometime if you are not maintaining the product list but you have authorized this task to any member of your team or any your employee, and he added the same item with little bit difference in the spellings or with little bit difference in the specification, so it would create problems for you to manage the inventory in Excel or to pick the data. Product code is like a primary key for each item and it will help to perform the further actions. After that you need suppliers. Suppliers are those who are providing you the goods, who are providing you the raw material to convert into finished goods. I have mentioned 5 items and have given them the unique supplier codes. Here is the supplier name, supplier category and email ID. Supplier code is mandatory field, supplier name is mandatory field, category and email ID are the optional fields by me. It depends on you whether you need it or not. In the end, we should have a buyers list in Microsoft Excel. On the top I have applied a code RC1, buyer name, retail customer. If I am selling my items to different customers on cash payment and I don't want to store their names individually, then I will select the customer as retail customer. But if I am dealing with the big parties who are my customer and I am working on credit too, I am selling them the goods and they are giving me the payments in installments, then I want to know that what is receivable and what has been received. So let's see how can we proceed. First of all, we have purchase detail. I have made a template here and I have given the heading my company purchase detail. You can download this template from the link given in the description and can change the headings as per your requirement if you are interested to work in this template. First of all, we have here purchase date, then we have here buyer code, buyer name, item code, item name, purchase quantity, purchase rate and purchase amount. Here I have done a mistake that instead of buyer code we need here supplier code and supplier name, that which supplier provided me, sent me the which product. You can see that here I have highlighted some fields with yellow background. These are the formula fields and will retrieve the data from the sheet lists against the formula. So let's see, I am putting a sample data here, 01 October 2020 supplier code. Now supplier code is a manual field here. I want a list, drop down list here, that I should select the supplier code from the provided list. So for that purpose what I will do, I will select the column or select the range where I need the list, and I will go to data tab. In data tab I have here data validation, and again I will click on data validation. Data validation is basically a validation dialog, a validation function of Microsoft Excel, which allows you to put a criteria on the input given by the user. Suppose you want to restrict the user that the user should always enter numeric data, so you will select here the decimal or the whole number, or you want that user should put a custom value, then you will apply the formula. What I want here, I want a list. It means I want to give a source of some fields or some data which will appear as a list here, and I am bounding the user that you should select from the provided list and you are not able to type anything manually. So in the source I will click my lists table and I will click on supplier code. Here I have bounded the user, and I will again click on this tiny box, and now I will press OK. So now you can here see that supplier codes are appearing. If someone or you will try to type anything manually, you are not able to do this. Let's have a look here. See, this given us a message: the value does not match the data validation restrictions defined for this cells. So in any case I have to select from the provided list. So I am going to select here the supplier code. In the next, what I need that whenever I select supplier code, it should return the supplier name. For this purpose I will use VLOOKUP function. VLOOKUP, lookup value this supplier code, table array is list sheet, and this is the table array. What column? Column index number 2, and range lookup 0. Enter, and it has provided us the supplier name. I will press F2 and will press F4 to fix this range and enter, and after that I will double click. You can see that cursor's face is changing. When it's changed like this, I will press double click and all the formula will be copied down to the selection. And now you can see that when you will change the supplier code, it is changing the supplier name on auto. Okay. After that I will enter that what item I purchased from him. Now this time I am a customer and the Verizon system is the supplier who is selling me the goods. For item codes I will again go to the data validation, and here I will select list. OK. Oh sorry, I did not select the source lists, and I will click on this product code. I have entered till daughterboard, so I will select till here and OK. Again here I will enter the VLOOKUP function to retrieve item name. VLOOKUP E4 comma table array, and in table array I will select product code along with product name. Here I will press F4 to fix the ranges. Column name 2 and 0. Hash NA is appearing because nothing is entered in the item code. That's why he can't find that what I am trying to retrieve. Now I will select item code. It has given me the look. I have just applied the data list here, not here, because I did not select. So I will select again data validation. The selection contains some cell without data validation setting. Do you want to extend? Yes, I want to extend, and the selection is already made, and this is OK. Now we can see that data is retrieving. Here I will enter the purchase quantity. Suppose we purchased 10 motherboards, 10 CPUs and 20 RAM. Purchase rate. The key point is purchase rate is the rate of the good which is offered to you by your seller, and the sale rate is the rate which is offered by you to your seller. Sometime it happens that people store the rate in the Excel against the product list, and whenever they purchase or sell they use the same rate. That is the wrong method of inventory. If any of you know about IAS 2, International Accounting Standard 2 of inventory, then you would have an excellent knowledge and you would know that inventory is always costing either against FIFO, LIFO, stock identification, or moving average method. You cannot sell the goods on purchase rate or on the last purchase price, because you are recording the data with wrong rates. You are not putting the your operational expenses, your transportation expenses, your other expenses. In short, you are not putting all your expenses from purchase of raw material to conversion to finished goods, and you are just using the single rate, and your all data is wrong. So let's proceed. I have entered here my purchase rate, let's say 1500, 5000 and 2000. What I need here, I need whenever purchase rate and purchase quantity is entered, it should calculate the total amount. So I will press equal G4 Sterisk. Sterisk stands for multiplication in Microsoft Excel, and H4 enter. So it has provided me the amount of purchases. Okay, so when I will receive more than one goods from a single supplier, what I will do, I will repeat the data against each item, because this supplier code is linking with the item which is provided to me. We cannot have these fields blank when there are some items. So this is the purchase detail. I have entered only few lines just for your understanding. When you will do practice and you will understand this in depth, you can enter many data. Now let's jump to purchase summary first. What is purchase summary? Purchase summary will give you the aggregate sum of your purchased status, that what are your items, how much quantity of each item is purchased, and what is the total amount of purchases against each item. For this purpose, what we'll do, we will go to lists and pick all these items. We will copy them, and in purchase summary we will paste them as values. Okay, now what we need, we need total purchased quantity of each item. So for this purpose we will use SUMIF function. SUMIF range is purchase, and this is the item code F4, comma, criteria B4, and sum range is amount. If any of you have not seen the video, my lecture on SUMIF, that is provided on I button, and you can also search in my playlist to go through that how SUMIF is applied in Microsoft Excel. So we have got the total purchased quantity of motherboard 15,000. See, each item is giving the quantity. Now we will enter some more data. Let's see, this time the date is different. date is different and the supplier is also different. This time supplier is from Lahore, and we will enter the same items. Everything is being calculated now, nothing is changed because we have applied the correct formulas. Let's go to purchase summary. Look, here the things have been changed. So the automation process is working fine. We are entering the purchase details and purchase summary is being populated on auto. Let's move to total amount. Oh, here I have done a mistake that I am here getting the quantity instead of summing the purchased quantity. Let's revise this function. Sum if item code range purchase detail range comma criteria comma sum range quantity. In last attempt I given the range here purchase amount. So we have now quantity here, and we will repeat the same practice to retrieve total amount. Sum if range, and after range criteria, and after that sum range of amount. So we got the total of 39,000, and we will apply here down to the list. Here you can see that I have used the fixed ranges, and this is fixed with E4 to E18. So it means if anything is added into the purchase detail after E18 or G18, will it work? No, it will not work, and you have to modify the formulas in every sheet. So how to avoid this? To avoid this, what you need to define the range and give the name, a unique name to your range. Suppose I want that this is purchase item codes, so I want to apply this entire column a name like item code underscore purchase. So whenever in this entire workbook I will use item code underscore purchase, that would be automatically referred to this column. To apply the range, what will I do? I will select this item code, and here I will enter the name item code underscore P. P stands for purchase, let's say, and enter. Now we will revise our okay, so we have given here the item code underscore purchase. Here is purchase quantity, so we will we have selected the purchase quantity, and we will change here P underscore quantity, purchased quantity. Same as we will apply the range here, P underscore amount. So now we will revise our functions with this name ranges. Equal sign sum if range is item code P, criteria item code, sum range P underscore quantity, entered. Now it is dynamic, it is not fixed. Whatever will be added in the purchase detail will reflect here auto, and you do not need to check whether function is working correct or not, or the ranges are correct or not, because you have applied the name to the entire columns, not on specific cells, to the entire column. So it will work very efficiently. Again, range item code P, criteria item code, and sum range is P amount. So now this is an automated summary purchase summary linked with purchase detail. Let's move to sale detail. Sale detail, again I have made a mistake, buyer code and buyer name. So what I need in this column buyer code, that the same as in purchase detail we have applied the list of supplier name, here we will apply the list of buyers, so that it will be a standard way to record the data. Let's select the column data, data validation, list, and go to the list. Now we will select buyers, and here are our buyers. These are the buyer codes. Okay, here we will apply again VLOOKUP function, lookup value C4, table array buyer code and buyer name F4 to fix the range, comma, call index is VLOOKUP value table array F4 to fix the range, call index 2 and 0, and we will click here, double click here to retrieve the data. Buyer code RC1 retail customer, WSD1 party A, WSD3 party C, WSD2 party B, WSD4 party 4, and here we will give the different dates. If many of you or some of you have worked on an advanced inventory system developed in Microsoft Excel or developed in some other database like Microsoft SQL Server along with .NET application or Oracle application, then you definitely would have question in your mind that why we are repeating the buyer code or supplier code against each item. We are repeating because this is Excel and this does not have parent-child relationships. So you cannot link the master table with the child table, because you have to select the data, you have to enter the data to map the party with the goods. In an efficient inventory system designed in .NET or any web system like PHP that is designed on parent-child relationship and have the capacity to work on master detail, like you select the header information in the header, party name, voucher number or supply order number and purchase date, etc, etc, and then you will in the below table, in the detail table, you provide the goods or services purchased from that seller. But in the Excel everything is being recorded in a tabular format, so you have to enter the everything you need. Now we have given the buyer code, buyer name, and now we will go to the item code. Again we will select the range, data validation, and here again we will select list. So now we will give item lists. Yep. And okay, again we will apply the formula VLOOKUP E4 table array and we will press F4 column 2 and 0. If any of you don't know about VLOOKUP function, that is being shown in I button and also available in my playlist, you can watch that video. That is a very comprehensive video on VLOOKUP and in Urdu language for those who cannot understand English. That will help you a lot to understand VLOOKUP easily, and after that you will have no problem to work on VLOOKUP or to work in this sheet. So let's put some data. This is a retail customer purchased motherboard 1 and sale rate. Now you might have a question that why sale rate is not retrieved from the purchase table. No, it will not retrieve. I am not saying that it can't be retrieved. I am saying that it will not retrieve because your sale rate is different than your purchase rate. So you have to enter sale rate manually, like you have purchased the motherboard on the rate of 2000 per unit, but you want to sell it on 3000 per unit after calculating all the expenses and keeping the profit margin in your mind. So I am putting the rate 3000. Here I am applying the formula H4 * G4 to calculate the sale amount. So we have entered a motherboard to retail customer. Now there is a party A. Party A again coming to purchase motherboard, and we are going to sell it 10 pieces with the rate of 2700. So this made our sale amount as well. Let's enter some more data. Now let's jump on to sales summary. What we need here, again like purchase summary, we want to know that what we have sold, the total sold quantity and the total amount. So again what we'll do, we will pick the items name from him, item codes or product codes. Please don't be confused when I say item codes, because in inventory always it is the used term item codes, but you can also say product codes. We will paste product codes here or item codes here. Again we will apply the function of VLOOKUP, lookup value. We can use here VLOOKUP function as well, or we can do simply copy paste the both product code and product name as well. Now we will apply here the SUMIF function, SUMIF range. So what we want here, we want to retrieve the data, the summarized data, the aggregate sum from sale detail. So first let's go to apply the names here. Item code, we will give name here item IC underscore sale, IC item code underscore sale, and sale quantity. So let's see sale underscore QTY, and sale amount. So let's see sale underscore amount, equal sign SUMIF range IC underscore sale criteria before sum range sale underscore quantity. So it has given us the total quantity that you have sold 11 motherboard, 11 units of motherboard. Total amount SUMIF IC underscore sale criteria item code sum range sale amount, and it given us the value that the total amount of your sold units is 30,000. Let's apply the same formatting down to the items, because I have just entered 15 items. You can see that 0 is appearing where items are not entered, are not sold. So what we have done so far, we have seen the lists, we have entered the purchase data, we have entered the sale data, we have made our purchase summary, we have made our sales summary. Now what is next? In next we want a comprehensive summary that what is our total purchased quantity against each item, total amount of purchases, total quantity sold, total amount of sales, total quantity on hand, and total amount of on hand quantity. If any of you have worked in any warehouse or have worked on an inventory system, then you might know this report, because this is the report which gives you the overview of your goods, that what you have purchased, what you have sold, what you have in hand, and what item needs to be reordered. So let's copy the item codes from here again and paste in stock status summary. Apply the formatting here again. and I will click double left click here. Total quantity purchased. So if you have remember that when we were working on purchase summary and sale summary, we have given the ranges in purchase detail and sale detail. If you can't remember, then you can also check that from name manager, and that is available in formula name manager. You can see that we have used these names so far: IC underscore sale, item code underscore sale, item code underscore P, item code underscore purchase, P underscore amount, purchase amount, P underscore quantity, purchase quantity. So we will use these now here in the sheet. We will use sum if, total purchase quantity, range, item code underscore P, criteria, C5, sum range, P underscore quantity, and enter. It has returned us the total purchase quantity of this item. Total amount of purchases, sum if, item underscore P, criteria C5, sum range, P underscore amount. It also has returned us the total amount of purchases. For sold quantity, sum if, IC sale, comma, criteria, and sum range, sale underscore quantity. Don't be confused that these functions are complex, or don't assume that you have to do this every time. This is one time practice. Once you have made your templates, you have entered the data, and you have applied the function, just put the data in purchase detail and sale detail. Everything rest of the things will work very smoothly. Total amount of sales, sum if, IC sale, criteria, and sum range is sale amount. We have also applied this. Now what we need: total on hand quantity. It is very simple: equal sign total purchased quantity E5 minus total sold quantity G5, and enter. So it will tell us that we have 14 units of motherboard in our hand, in our inventory. This column will help you to know the current stock. This column will help you to do the audit or physical head count, and this column will help you to plenish your stock ordering, that either these 14 units are enough or your sale trends are telling you to purchase more units. Simply F5 minus H5, this will let you know that what is the amount of on hand stock. So viewers, so far we have made this thing. Welcome back. So viewers, you have seen that we have made everything here, and now we will put some more data to check whether everything is working fine or not. Suppose we will enter some more purchases. And this time we will select some new item. See, we have entered printer with 10 quantity and purchase rate is 10,000. Total amount is 1 lakh. So let's jump to stock status summary, and you can see that printer's data has been automatically entered in the summary. Purchase quantity 10, total amount 10, 1 lakh, on hand quantity is 10, and the amount is same. Let's sell one printer now. Here one thing you have to remember: the product code. So my product code was AX20-32, and I am selling it to retail customer. AX20-32, one quantity, sale rate 12,500. So let's now check. So we have also received the data in the sold quantity and sold amount, and stock has been updated successfully. Viewers, this was the simplest way to record the inventory for small businesses. I will not recommend to enter the inventory of large business organization in this template because human errors exist everywhere. Microsoft Excel is not that much smart enough to work on your customized requirement. If your methods of inventory recording are different or have some complicated methods, complicated workflows, business flows, then please purchase any inventory system or any other customized required software. If you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.